everybody, my name is Sarah and this is Count Your Stitches. Today's video, I'm going to demonstrate how to do the corner to corner pattern. Corner to corner is literally exactly what it means. You're working from one corner to the next corners and eventually ending back up here. I just did a small, quick little swatch of, it's 4 squares by 4 squares. You don't have to do a square. You can always do a rectangle. You can do a square. You can do whatever you want with this. You can also change colors throughout the blocks and make it into a little picture within the corner to corner blanket. This is also good for making little scrubbies or dishcloths. It's a very easy pattern once you get the hang of it. I am using Hobby Lobby's I Love This yarn in the colorway of Sea Press Landing. It's a very beautiful color and I'm going to be using a size 5 hook. Now, as you can see, if you mess around with the little square a little bit, it does have some holes to it. What I've noticed, if you use a smaller hook, the holes aren't as prominent. You can even go down to as small as a size 4. I've done that a couple times when I've been making a project and I don't want the holes to be as noticeable. It just creates a tighter stitch. So first what we're going to do is we are going to have a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 and 3 are the numbers to remember for this pattern. So we have a chain of 6. We are going to go into the 3rd chain from the hook. Remember, the one on the hook doesn't count. So we go 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to skip those 3 and go into this one. It is the 3rd chain from the beginning. I'm sorry, I said the 3rd chain from the hook. It's the 3rd chain from the beginning. And we are going to go in and work a double like normal. And we are going to do 1 double and the next 2 stitches. So we have our first little square. So now we need to do these 2 squares. And how you do that is we're going to turn the work. You just flip the square like you would flip it if you were doing a row. And we are going to do another chain of 6. So we have 3. And I always put my finger on the 3rd chain and it helps with the counting. So we have a total of 6. We're going to go back in and work it just like the first square and do the doubles. Now, how to connect them is you're not going to go into the stitch, you're going to go into the space between these 2. So this is the chain and then this is the double. So you're going to go into that space and you're just going to pull through and do a slip stitch, and now they're connected. Now we need to do another square. We're not going to do a chain of 6, we're going to do a chain of 3 and do 3 doubles into the space. Now if you want, you can always connect these doubles to one of the little spaces in the post of the stitch right here to kind of anchor them down to help create so that the hole is not as prominent or big. I've noticed when I've tried to do that, it's a little tricky, so I don't anymore. Okay, so now we've done these 2, and then we need to do the next 3. And then this round has 4, and then there's the decreases. But if I were to keep going, you're always adding in 1 more square every time you're increasing. So we're just gonna turn our work again, And since we're at the beginning, we're going to do a chain of 6. At the beginning, you always do the chain of 6 if you're doing the increased rows. So go into that 3rd chain. You're gonna work your 3 doubles. Okay. Now we need to anchor it to the next square, so we're gonna do the slip stitch and do the chain of 3. Since we're not doing the chain of 6, so we're not at the beginning, we're in the middle. So you gotta work your 3 doubles. And you anchor it again to the next one. We are at the end, but we're still going to do just the chain of 3 and the 3 doubles. You can kind of see how this one turns out a little bit funky, is the word I would use to describe it. When you do the next round, the next row, square, block, whatever you want to call it, it does work itself out. And because that happened a little bit with this one, but you can tell that you can't even see that with the decreases or with the increasing rows. So to follow the swatch, I'm going to do one more row before the decreases. So we're going to turn our work and do the chain of 6. We're going to go in and do the 3 doubles. And anchor it again to the next one, you just by doing a slip stitch. We're going to do the chain of 3 and the 3 doubles into the space around the post. You're going to go in and anchor it again with the chain of 3 and do the 3 doubles. Don't let your loop slip off your hook like mine just did. We're going to anchor one more time and do the block again with the chain of 3 and the 3 doubles. Okay, so now we have our count of 4. Now something you need to remember, if you are doing a square, you want to have the same block count on each side. I've done it sometimes before where I accidentally did an increasing row, so it turned out to be I think it was about 20 blocks by 19. Oops. It's a very easy mistake to make, and if it happens and you notice it right away, just take the rows out. Or if you've gotten far enough into your project, one row won't make or break the project. It's okay. So now I'm going to show how to do the decreasing rows. We're not going to do the chain 6 anymore. Actually, we are going to turn our work and we are going to slip stitch our way to that space. So you're going to do a total of 3 slip stitches. You're going to do a slip stitch into the 2 double crochets, and then not into this one, you're going to do a slip stitch into the space. So you want to try to hold it like this. If it's a little difficult for you to hold that, it's okay. You want to try to hold it as straight as possible, because you can tell on this one I didn't do that and it did get a little wonky, just a little bit. So we're not going to do the chain of 6. We are going to just do the chain of 3 like we're making regular blocks. So we're going to do the chain of 3 and 3 doubles into the space. And we are going to anchor it like normal. Do the chain of 3, and anchor it, and do the chain of 3 with the 3 doubles, and anchor it. Now you don't want to do an extra one. You want to stop right here, and we're going to do a slip stitch back across to get right here. So we're just going to turn our work, do a slip stitch into that very first space, and one more, and then we're going to do the slip stitch into the space between the 2 posts of the stitches. All right, so now we did 3 for that one. We went 1, 2, 3, and 4. So with the decreasing, obviously you are losing a block every time. So we are going to go ahead and do a chain of 3, work the block like normal, do the 3 doubles, and anchor it, the chain 3 and the 3 doubles, and just like the last row for decreasing, we're going to slip stitch but not continue. What I've noticed sometimes, and I've done this myself, is you will want to automatically do a chain of 3 and do 3 more doubles. Don't do that. I've done that a couple times and when I've been making a blanket, and I didn't notice for about 15 rows that I had an extra block, and then the next 15 rows had the extra block. In about 3/4 of the blanket did not have that extra block, so it kind of stuck out a little bit, so I had to rip it out and redo those 15 rows. So just make sure that you're paying attention and you are stopping. So we are going to turn our work and do the slip stitches across to that space. We have 1 and 2 and 3. So now we only have 1 block left, so we're going to work the chain of 3 and do the 3 doubles, and we are going to anchor it down. Now you can either stop here or you can do a slip stitch to the corner. That all depends on what you're doing. If you want to add a border to your project, what I would do is do not slip stitch here. Just go ahead and do your border to make it look a little bit nicer. And I like to bind off here anyways, because it keeps that edge nice. So we're going to go ahead and we're gonna break the yarn, and I recommend doing that with a scissors or a shears, because that can really hurt your fingers. And we're going to fasten off, and how you want to fasten off is you're just going to pull the yarn all the way through, and you're gonna pull. And what I do to make sure that it's not gonna come undone is I take it and I do an extra, I do it like a single crochet. And I pull, and then that is where I would cut the yarn right there. So then you would have your square. Very simple, very easy to do. There is tons of patterns out there using multiple different kinds of colors. You can always do a couple rows and then change colors. You can have the self-striping yarn like I had and make it the different colors automatically. You can make a whole bunch of little squares and then connect them together. You can do it however you want to do it. The possibilities are endless with these squares. They are very easy to make and very fun to do. As always, thank you for watching. Remember to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, if you are a new subscriber, hit that bell button so you get a notification whenever I post a video. Thank you for watching again, and as always, remember to count your stitches.